Suma John is a ward manager at Cardiff and Vale University Hospitals University Health Board, there we go, and Welsh Clinical Leadership Trainee Fellow for the Welsh Government. And that's a convent placement, I believe, Suma. You'll tell us more shortly. And Suma, you grew up in India and you came to the UK and you now work in health and social care leadership. We'd love to hear your story about how you got to where you are in your career today, lessons learned, things that you would like to impart us with so that those that go before you, those that go after you, do not have to experience some of those things because they can learn from how you have done it. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, lovely. Thank you very much, Jade. Thank you. It was so inspirational to hear you, Claire, because I come from India and I have fought through to get to where I am. So I'm just reading from what I have written down because I'm not a very big presenter or anything. So I want whatever in my mind and in whatever I struggled, I want people to know. And as you said, people coming after me, the generation coming after me should not be having that struggle. So hopefully you're okay for me to read it through. So it's an honor to be here today celebrating International Women's Day. I know it is tomorrow, but we are celebrating it today, a day that recognizes strength, resilience, and achievement of women across the world. But more importantly, it is a day to reflect on barriers we continue to face and battle we still have to fight. My journey, it's my personal journey, is one of resilience, determination, and refusal to accept limitation placed upon me, whether by society, culture, or by the workplace. As I reflect on my own journey, many women around the world, especially those from ethnic minority background, those who leave their home behind to build a new future, and those who dream of leadership but face obstacles at every step. So I am Suma, a nurse leader born and raised in India, and I moved to United Kingdom to pursue my career as a nurse. Today I stand before you as a ward manager, a clinical leadership trainee fellow, and an RCN board member. But the path to get here was far from easy, and I can very honestly say it was not an easy path at all. Like many of you, I have faced struggles, doubts, and moments where I questioned whether I belonged. That was the major question I faced is, do I have to quit or do I belong or do I fight? But through resilience, determination, and I must say the support of incredible mentors I had, I break the barrier, I break the glass ceiling, and I am here now. I lived in India till I was 27 years of age, and it's a man's world. And India, where I lived, over all of India, I will say, man decide what the society, what your opportunities, what your life is, and as a woman, you follow them. You are asked to be be obedient and be following a man. So as a young woman, I thought I knew what I wanted and more I wanted to find my own path. So maybe when I say the two things I done, very simple to you all, but it was very groundbreaking for me. The first choice I made was to choose my own life partner. A decision was very, very difficult 30 years back, and it is still because you're not allowed to decide who you want to marry. And the second decision I taken was keep my maiden name after my marriage, something considered almost revolutionary in my part of the world. You have to, after marriage is meant taking a new identity, one defined by husband's name. But for me, my name was my history, my achievement, my identity. So I didn't want to give up. I had lots of resistance, lots of criticism for that, but I stand my point. And that moment and that experience taught me the power of standing firm on my choices. But I soon learned that fight for independence was just not personal; it's professional as well. When I moved to United Kingdom in 2002, full of hope and aspiration, I believe that I was here where I can finally thrive, build a career, and find some independence. But coming over here, what I learned quickly was while the setting had changed, the challenges had not. And in my country, I was a woman fighting a man's world. But coming to United Kingdom, I was an ethnic. I got more and more layers added to me. I was an ethnic minority. I'm still an ethnic minority woman. And I learned that I got dyslexia. So I got another layer added to me. So equality and equity was out of box or out of the picture about my case. And now I reached 50. Another layer is added to me, which is menopause. So I'm a menopausal woman, ethnic minority with dyslexia, fighting the system. So the fight is really getting harder and harder. When I started working long back in 2002, I faced challenges that many global nurses will recognize, like adapting to a new healthcare system which is not at all familiar to me, feeling like an outsider because I didn't know anything, facing unconscious bias, emotional weight of leaving my family because I left my family and my 2-year-old son back in India to come and start my career here, financial pressure, and I can sit here for another hour to talk about the list I missed and I struggled. As an ethnic minority woman with dyslexia, I faced an uphill battle. I was overlooked, underestimated, and had to work twice as hard to be recognized. I entered healthcare leadership only to realize that women, especially those from diverse backgrounds, were constantly having to prove themselves. In this moment, I had two choices: either accept the status quo or to challenge it. And me being me, I want to challenge it. And it was not easy at all. Through education, mentorship, and sheer determination, I pushed forward. I became a ward manager, then moved to be a part of the National Leadership Project. Today, I'm part of Welsh Government, leading a project supporting my fellow nurses, which I am very, very proud of. But beyond personal success, my mission has always been uplifting others, because leadership for me isn't about title, it's about the impact. Women being compassionate and resilient, women bring compassion, resilience, and innovation to healthcare, but we still see fewer women in senior decision making roles, even fewer women from ethnic minority or diverse background. We must change that, not just for ourselves, but for the next generation of women. As a woman, and especially as a woman of color, often we hesitate to take the next step, thinking leadership roles are for somebody else or somebody else know better. But what I think is we tell ourselves we are not ready, that others are more qualified. But leadership for me is not about having all answers. It is about having the courage to step up, challenge, and make a difference, and to create opportunities for others. I think we need mentorship programs that support women in their leadership journeys. We need inclusive spaces where every woman, regardless of background, feels empowered to lead. We need to challenge policies that hold women back, whether through gender bias, unequal pay, or lack of support for issues like menopause. Diversity in leadership is not just about representation, it's about better decision making, stronger team, and a healthcare system that truly reflect the community it serves. Leadership must not be reserved for a selected few. It must be accessible, inclusive, and representative of all the community and all the profession. One of the most important lessons I have learned in the leadership is not about power. It's about empowerment. It's about lifting others while we climb. In nursing and in all profession, women bring unique strengths, compassion, resilience, and collaboration. But often we're told that these qualities are soft skills. I challenge that notion. Compassion is not a weakness, it's a strength. It's what allows us to connect, to lead with empathy, to create workplaces where people thrive. We fight hard for our career, but no one prepare for the impact of menopause, which I understood when I reached my 50s. As I entered my 50s, yet another barrier added to my journey. Menopause affected confidence, it affected my memory, energy level, and emotional well being. Yet it is still a taboo, even in healthcare. We need to we need better awareness about menopause, stronger workplace policies, and supportive leadership, so women don't have to choose between their health and their career. I want every woman out there to know you're not alone. Your struggles are real and you deserve support. Despite all these challenges, I will say I am still here. I still have energy, passion, and purpose. And I know many women out there, whether they're battling gender bias, cultural expectations, health challenges, or self-doubt, feel discouraged. So to those women, I say, keep going. Do not let society dictate your worth. Never underestimate your power. And as we celebrate, I want to leave you with a challenge, only because I am only a ward manager. I will say I am on the middle management level, and there is lots of people in the higher level who can make these changes for the future of the woman. So I want you to take this challenge, uplift another woman, mentor someone. Use your voice. If you are in a position of influence, create opportunities for other women to thrive. And never underestimate your power. Barriers we break today will make other women, their life easier. We have come so far, but there is still so much more to do. I want to leave you with the words of Michelle Obama. There is no limit to what we as women can accomplish. Let's continue breaking barriers together. Thank you. This is my journey.
Thank you very much, Suma, for sharing your personal story with us today. I wanted to ask you some questions about your experience. So it was very difficult for you to leave your son in India. Why was that the case, that you had to do that to pursue your career? And how could we overcome that today to avoid other women having to do the same? What would be your advice and guidance from your experience?
I think it was 25 years back I come to United Kingdom. At that time when we come over, we have to have 6-month adaptation training. It is all changed now. You have to do OSCE, and it's more, the transition is more easier and made it more flexible. So you can bring your family more easier. For at that time, it was not looked into, and it was one of the first cohort came over from India and Philippines. So things were difficult at that time. So I have to leave my son 6 months, or maybe more than 6 months, for me to get a house, to get a permanent visa and everything. And I didn't have the money at that time. There is monetary problems because I don't have money to pay for a rent or to pay. So I lived in the halls provided by the health board. So I won't be able to get accommodation for the family. But things are changed now. People are bringing their families more easier now, and the transit and the health board and the Welsh government is supporting that a lot.
That's good to hear. And then you talked around having dyslexia. So you are a neurodiverse person. How has that challenged you in your leadership journey? And what strategies do you embrace to help ease some of those challenges that dyslexia presents?
27, I was in India, and I speak my own language, and I did study under English medium, but dyslexia was not a big issue because you communicated in a different language. So when I came over here only, I diagnosed with dyslexia because my words are jumbled, and the way I read or the way I pronounce some words are different. So I find it difficult when I am expressing things because I'm not understanding the way other people are understanding. But then maybe becoming mature or maybe trying to live with that, I realized that I got a different perspective of things than other people, which is an added benefit to any service because I'm seeing things differently. So even if I go for an interview or if I'm presenting, because of my dyslexia, sometimes I have to write things down, sometimes I have to read things twice, but I learn how to live with it. And I always say, because I got dyslexia, I see things differently to how you are, and that's an added benefit for the society and for the community and for healthcare as well. So that's what I say to people with dyslexia. It's not a barrier, it is an empowerment. You got something, a gift. You can see things differently.
Thank you, Suma. And then finally, you talked around menopause. How has that impacted you in your role today? And where do you seek menopause support from?
My health board do a little bit of menopause support, but it is not enough. I will say there is lot need to be done. What from my point of view, I will say I have 2 children. They're grown up now, and I'm ready to. I don't have school runs. I don't have to do wait for my children to come back home or worry about them. At the moment, I'm liberated. I'm independent, and I wanted that from my young age to pursue my career. So when I reach that point, when I'm ready, I got menopause and I have mental fog, and then my emotions are all over the place. I'm getting very upset, and sometimes I feel I don't have that energy, and I'm trying to hide it, to say, to fight in the society where there is youngsters. I'm fighting with the youngsters, and I'm thinking I should not do that. People should recognize and understand that I'm a woman with experience. I have led the teams, I have done, and I got aspirations and I got energy. But I am menopausal, so I need to have that leeway. But I don't think it is understood that much in the world. People think that we have to hide it, because when we go for any projects or things, people think that, oh, she is middle aged, she don't have the ideas, or she might be tired, or she don't have that energy, she don't have that drive. It's not that. We have all that, but it's menopause causing our brain and our body to take a different a different path. And I think that should be recognized, that should be talked more. I don't know why people are not talking about enough. I will say people, and even in healthcare, where menopause and the health issues should be talked more, people see it as a taboo. Giving a cotton uniform is not enough. That's not the end of treating menopause, or saying to a menopausal woman, go and have a sit down because you're tired. That's not right. I'm not tired. I am having some problem because of my health issues, but I will overcome it, and we all go through it. So how we can, I'm sure there will be something, policies come out soon which will support the menopausal woman.
Thank you so much, Suma. I'd like to give our audience the opportunity to ask you some questions now. You've answered all mine wonderfully. Thank you. So a couple of comments coming through the chat box from Dawn. Menopause is very difficult, and it is not an easy conversation to have. It's difficult to cope with within oneself, to understand better why things that used to come easy no longer do. Thank you for that observation, Dawn. And then Vimbe, thank you, Suma, for your presentation and sharing your inspiring experience. I am meeting a number of nurses who are struggling to find and be considered for leadership positions for themselves. What 2 or 3 things could they consider from your experience, Suma?
First thing I will say is believe in yourself. Doesn't mean that you come from what background, what neurodivergent you are, or what difference you got. Believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, you can fight forward. And network, that's what I find very good, is networking, putting yourself forward. Get that confidence to say to people, I am so and so, I am looking to be a leader. I got this aspiration. These are my positives, and how can I develop? And get a mentor. Always I get a mentor, because I had lovely mentor called, her name is Rebecca Aylward. She was the Deputy Chief Executive for Cardiff and Vale Health Board. She's retired now. So she supported me. The support and the mentoring she given me break that eggshell around me. She took me out, and she thrown me into the world and said, Suma, this is the world. I am with you. I'm holding your hand. You can do this. And that given me that power to challenge anything. So get a mentor who will empower you and who will support you to go into that leadership roles.
Thank you, Suma. And I can echo that experience. I too have mentors, and I would say they are uplifting and empowering and give you that confidence that is within you, but you just need sometimes that other person to pry it out of you. I'm going to put my contact details in the chat box, because if you would like to look to us as the Institute of Health and Social Care Management for mentoring opportunities, either to be mentored or to offer mentoring as to a mentee, you can contact me at jmaloney@ihm.org.uk. We also have menopause resources available through our Women in Leadership Special Interest Group resource page, which I will share the link in the chat box shortly for you. And also through our Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Special Interest Group, there are resources around neurodiversity support as well, particularly some of those strategies that Suma discussed. It's nearly 10 to 12, so we're coming to the end of today's morning sessions. Okay, fabulous. I'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Suma, for sharing your personal journey and inspiring us all this morning. We will email you all links to this morning's recordings as well when they are available to watch back. If you're leaving us, thank you for joining our International Women's Day talks. And thank you to all our guests this morning, Sue Jones, Sarah Wilson, Dr. Claire Mould, Dr. Dagny Rajasingham and Suma John. Thank you all so much. Enjoy your afternoon. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.